Let me ask you a question. Imagine this. You're given two options right now. Option 1. You receive $100 million in cash, no strings attached. It's yours. Option 2. You get one private dinner every month with Warren Buffett. No money, just access, real conversations, direct insight into how he thinks, invests, and avoids mistakes. Pause for a second. Be honest. Which one are you choosing? Most people don't even think about it. They say, "Give me the 100 million." And look, that answer makes sense. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That instinctive answer is the exact reason most people never become financially free. That's the problem. Because here's the real question nobody asks. Why would someone who truly understands money ever choose people over cash? Sit with that for a moment. Because the wealthy already know something most people don't. My name is Solomon, and I focus on why financial freedom takes more than just money. If this resonates with you, make sure to hit the subscribe button and drop a like if this video adds value. Now look, this video isn't about motivation. It's not about hustle culture. It's about dismantling a belief that quietly keeps millions of people stuck. The belief that money alone is the solution to money problems. Here's the thing. Money feels like freedom because it's visible. You can touch it, spend it, show it. But here's what most people don't realize. Money is a multiplier, not a creator. If your systems are weak, money magnifies the weakness. If your thinking is flawed, money accelerates the damage. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why athletes with massive contracts end up bankrupt. That's why high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. In fact, studies show that a majority of people who receive sudden wealth lose it within a few years. Not because they didn't have money, but because they didn't have guidance, structure, or the right people. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's go back to the Warren Buffett example. Buffett didn't build wealth because he started with money. He built wealth because he spent decades around the right people. Thinking partners like Charlie Munger, business owners, decision makers. He compounded judgment before he compounded cash. If Buffett lost all his money today, do you really think he'd stay broke? Of course not. Because wealth doesn't live in bank accounts. It lives in how you think, how you decide, and who shapes those decisions. Here's why most people choose the 100 million. The human brain is wired for certainty and immediacy. Cash feels safe. People feel uncertain. Psychologists call this present bias. We overvalue what we can get now, and undervalue what compounds quietly over time. That bias doesn't just affect spending. It affects who you listen to, who you learn from, and who you ignore. And eventually, it defines your financial ceiling. Let me make this human. Two coworkers, same job, same salary, same age. One goes home and scrolls. The other joins a small learning community. 6 months later, nothing dramatic changes. But 2 years later, one understands skills, leverage, and investing mistakes. The other is still guessing. Same income, different people. Now you might be thinking, Solomon, not everyone has access to rich people. True, but that's not the point. You don't need rich people. You need right people. People who are one step ahead. People who think long-term. People who ask better questions. Wealth grows in layers, not leaps. Here's a simple example. If one conversation helps you avoid a bad car loan, a failed business idea, or years of debt, that single conversation is worth more than most salaries. Mistakes are expensive. That's why access matters. Here's what most people don't realize. Your financial future is shaped less by how hard you work, and more by who corrects you early. Money magnifies behavior. People shape behavior. The wrong people don't mean to hurt you, but they normalize bad debt, overspending, short-term thinking. Comfort feels good, but comfort is expensive. So what do? First, change rooms, not friends. You don't need to cut anyone off. You need new environments. Learning spaces, skill groups, serious conversations. Second, build skills. Skills buy access faster than money. Excel, analysis, writing, tech, sales. People open doors for contributors, not spectators. Third, ask better questions. Not, how do I get rich? But, what mistake cost you the most? What would you do differently? What skill changed everything for you? Those questions signal depth, and once your environment shifts, your standards shift. You stop accepting bad decisions. You stop leaking money. You stop sabotaging yourself, not because of motivation, but because your reference point changed. So if you had to choose again, $100 million in isolation or access to someone who truly understands money, the wealthy already know the answer because money can be lost, but the right people, they help you rebuild everything. If this video changed how you think about money, make sure to subscribe. This channel is about financial freedom the way it actually works, through psychology, through systems, and through people.